Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video we will be talking about some more interview questions, right? So in the last video we have discussed around, I think, 15 questions. So today we will be discussing a couple of more questions that are there that are commonly asked in the interviews. So let's get started. So we are given a function to create an even stack that pushes the elements only when it is an even number, and we need to stop the behavior that we cannot access the stack.items array, the items in which we are pushing the each element. So we need to prevent this behavior from happening. We need to restrict the behavior that we cannot access the stack.items array that we are pushing into. So what we can do is we can declare array like let items equal to array, and we can define our functions like this dot push equal to function, and it will receive element, or let me call it item. If item mod 2 equal to 0, if it is an even, then items dot push item. Otherwise it will say else console.log please push an even number, right? We can remove the curly braces since we are writing only one single statement, right? And we can pop the latest item, items dot pop return items dot pop. It will also return the item, and if we want to print, then we can do console.log items, right? So this is the thing. We are pushing one, that will not be pushed. It will trigger this line, please push an even number. If we are pushing two, that will get added in the stack, and if we want to print the items, then it will only log two, and it will push the 4 element, and it will print that elements items array. And if you do something like this is not gonna happen, right? Console.log stack.items will not be accessible, it is undefined, right? So we have implemented this function where we have prevented it from accessing the items array, right? So this is one question. Now another question, this one is quite interesting. It is saying that we need to compute a very large sum, and if we have already calculated it, then we can optimize its performance by a previously computed value. So how can we memoize this function basically? So we need to implement a memoize function so that we can improve the performance. If we have already computed the value, then we can simply return it. So what we can do is we can maintain a object cache, and it is gonna return a function, and it will accept as an argument if cache already have this n, then return cache of n. If it is not there, then return cache of n equal to cb of n, right? So if you try to see the output for this, so we are calling this first time, so it is going to compute the value using this, and it will store inside the cache object. And if we are calling it again, then it is gonna optimize its performance, since we are simply returning from it, we are not again computing the value, so its performance will be improved. So you can see here that we are getting almost 1 second as the time for the computed value, and we are getting almost half of a millisecond, less than even that, for the optimized value, right? So that is how you can implement something called as memoized function. Now we have one more question, interesting question coming up, that where we need to define a function like such that if we call fn and if we call the constructor function, then they both give us true So if we write something like function fn return 1, so console.log fn will give us 1, but console.log new fn will give us the object of it, because when we call a constructor function, then it is being, the return value is being overridden by return this. So you will get an object in this case and one in normal function call, right? You are getting an object in new fn case when it is invoked via new keyword, but one when you are calling it. So how can you make it like work like this? So what if we do return this? So this in this case will point to the global object, this in this case will point to the object itself, constructor function object. So they both are not equal, so this will also not work. So what if I write return fn itself? So now this is gonna override the return this value. It's gonna override return this value and return the function itself. Now if you do console.log fn equal to new fn, this is going to give me true, right? So here you can see that this value is being overridden in case of new keyword, and normal function call it is giving me the same function. That is how you can do this problem, right? So I have one more question that is related to deep clone. We have already discussed it, but let's discuss it one more time. So we need to implement a deep clone of an array and an object, right? So what we can do is function deep clone if type of return obj. For let key in obj let obj equal to a1 this value, let obj2 equal to deep clone of obj, and if I change something inside obj2 dot b dot c equal to 4, then it should not reflect in obj, right? So that is how you can implement a deep clone. And even if you pass an array, this is also going to work. Let array equal to this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, let array 2 of, so this is okay, 0 1 2, right? So it is not changing the the change is not being reflected inside array, since we have implemented a deep clone. So if it is not an object, then simply return that object, and if it is an object, then store it inside some key and call the deep clone object on the key itself. So that is how you can handle the nested recursion calls, right? So that is how you implement a deep clone. And do we have some more questions? I don't think so. We have covered a lot of questions. We have covered almost 20 questions. We are currently on question number 19. So I think we have completed a lot of popular interview questions, right? And yeah, I think that's it for this video. In the next video, we will be discussing about call, apply, bind, and right. So and we will be implementing the polyfills for these methods as well. Polyfills is basically something you implement on your own. Instead of you using the API, you implement something of your own, right? So that is what a polyfill is, and we will be discussing that in the next video. So thank you guys for watching.